What is going on, ladies and gentle beings of the tribe, and how the devil are we all doing? I'm sure we're doing fine and juicy, and we're all looking absolutely pucker, mate, pucker. We've come to the end of Conquest, so let's give you some hints and tips on how to get through Sector 5 without going as bold as me. Or maybe you'd like that. Bold is beautiful. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Red crate achieved. It is something that I am going to write home to my mother about, and she's going to be ever so proud of my performance. Right, okay, Sector 5 is really not too bad of a sector, ladies and gentlemen. What do we need to do? Forced tranquility. I try to do this every single morning. I get out of bed far too early and I go for a nice walk. I find that is forced tranquility. Attempt to inflict defense down 60 times. We also need to gain critical damage up 60 times, and there's a very easy way of getting that done in one battle, or you can just gain it as you go through the sector. Both options are perfectly viable, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll show you how to get it done regardless. Then we need to defeat 35 enemies with Gungans. This is, of course, very easy if you have a full team of Gungans. If you do not, I feel sorry for you. You might be able to take a Gungan in with a JML squad and call them to assist to get the kills. That will work as well. And then finally, beep boop. Defeat 35 enemies with droids. I love this one. This one's tons of fun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with a good bit of cheese. The old crit damage up and defense down 60 times. There are two ways that you can do this, but I'm going to go in with the way that I like to see. So, keep an eye out. Padme teams, super useful. You can get it done real easy with a Padme team on auto basic. You get all your defense downs and all your crit damage up. Easy peasy squeezy lemons. If you don't have that, look out for like a Droid node, like over here. You can do the exact same thing. Alright, Droid node, Padme node, keep an eye out for one of those and you get the cheese done. Now you know how it goes with the Droid node. In fact, I'll show you a video just in case. But before we get into that, what we're looking to do is have a data disk setup that doesn't have something like weak spot if you're going up against the Padme team. Okay? If you're going up against Padme, you do not want to be ramping your damage output. Really, you don't, because that's going to make you come a cropper, as it were. You certainly don't want stuff like certain defeat. You're looking for something like booming voice. If you've also got things like, where is it? We'll just get all of this crap on here. Yeah, so assertive command, very, very useful. There's also perseverance. That's also really, really useful. So a setup like this, these three, core three, really, really useful for either going against Droid or going against Padme. Booming voice means whenever we use any ability with our leader, everybody's going to be called to assist. Perseverance means whenever anybody attacks out of turn, they'll attack out of turn again, limit to once per turn, of course, and the damage is reduced. And assertive command, whenever an ally uses a basic ability, there's a chance to call, well, you will definitely call another random ally to assist, dealing less damage. Combined, this just means lots of assists, which is good for your turn meter generation and control for the cheese. The cheese tax. Okay, so first and foremost, Padme team. If we were to be doing this, it would be in a team such as this. This is your auto basic team versus Padme. It will get you all of your crit damage up, all of your defense down in one turn. It might look a little bit weird, a little bit funky, but this is the team, right? CLS, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Han Solo. I like these guys combined. CLS on his basic over here, you will notice that he can apply defense down. Okay, that's great. It doesn't matter if he resists it or not. Doesn't matter if they resist. If you apply it, if you attempt to apply it, sorry, it still counts. Malgus over here on his basic, you will be able to do physical damage with a 50% chance to attack again, doubled if the target is Jedi. This is useful versus Padme. You're going to be attacking GK, so he's always going to be double tapping. Until the end. These attacks can't be countered. Sith Empire allies gain crit damage up for 2 turns. He is the only Sith Empire. However, because of the sheer volume of attacks you're going to be making, he's going to be double tapping every basic. Every time CLS uses an ability, he's going to be called to assist like 14 times. You'll gain it no problem, okay? And then you've got Han Solo. Just Han Solo and Chewbacca are mostly there for TM generation and stuns and stuff. Han Solo does have Never Tell Me the Odds, which does pass crit damage up. So if you want to play it manually and not use Malgus, you can just use Han Solo, just play it manually. All right, I'm not going to fight the battle now. I don't want to waste my energy. That's for Datacrons, not for you guys. All right, let's get the video footage. It is about as easy as you can make it. I like to stun Anakin at the start. No real reason. Target GK and hit auto basic. That is the entire complexity of the battle. Now, you will not land another debuff because as long as they have bonus protection, the Padme team, they will resist all debuffs. Also, because of the fact that they're resisting all debuffs, it means you're not going to land them. But this is also under a CLS team going to basically generate you ridiculous levels of turn meter gains. Okay, turn meter gains will go out through the wazoo. If you want to throw on something like Unstable Decelerator to make sure that they don't take a turn, that's fine. But look at their turn meter right now. Look at it. It's not moving an inch, and my entire team is just full turn meter. We don't even need a turn with Malgus, because Malgus is just going to get called to assist whenever he wants, right? There's a chance on every basic that he gets called to assist. When he attacks, if you're targeting a Jedi, he will attack again. Every time he's doing that basic, he's gaining that crit damage up. You can see it on him going boom, crit damage up, crit damage up, crit damage up, crit damage up, which is really nice. Every time that tries to apply, you're going to be gaining it. CLS, whenever he does a basic against anybody, he's going to attempt to apply crit damage down. Like I said, it doesn't matter that they're resisting it. It really doesn't, because it still counts. It still counts. And you can leave this indefinitely. I'll just skip ahead. Look, up. There you go. Look, it's 34 seconds left. They still haven't taken a turn, the enemy team, and we are still just tromping through. This is a real easy way of getting it done. Yes, you do sacrifice the win for this, but crack on, okay? The only real thing here is you have to make sure you don't have anything on your data discs that's ramping your offense. Weak spot, anything like that, because eventually you will chew through and do too much damage to the enemy team, and that will ruin all your fun, all right? This is a way of getting it done if you just want to do a once and done, forget about it on auto basic jobby. Alternatively, if you have got a Droidica node, you can do the same thing. Like, I've taken in Chupio here, but you could drop Chupio for Malgus and do the exact same thing. I didn't think about Malgus until later. You can also use Jocasta Nu. If you don't have Malgus, but maybe for some reason you've got Jocasta Nu, she can also gain crit damage up on a basic. So she's another option available to you. All you have to do with this one is you have to let that Droidica get into damage immunity, ladies and gentlemen. Droidica is in damage immunity. He is going to... He's going to obviously be immune to damage. That's what damage immunity means. My brain is just not firing on all cylinders today. Be very careful, of course. You do not want your team being extorted, because that means you're going to be too slow and the Droidica will take a turn. So you do need to make sure that you control that Droidica nice and effectively. His damage immunity lasts for 2 turns. 2 turns, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely get rid of Nute Gunray as quickly as possible. And if you want to just put it on auto basic, that should work, but you will not get your crit damage up unless you've got Malgus in the squad. Failing that, you're going to have to manually do it with Han Solo, second special. Go ahead and shrug your shoulders like you mean it. But failing that, you can just play this manually, and when you think you've got enough crit damage ups from Han Solo, he passes it to the whole team. So essentially you're going to have to do it like, you know, a bunch of times. I think we need to do 60 in total and you get 5, which means you need to do it, what, 30 times? Which is quite a lot, but this is still an easy way of getting it done. Not as easy, in my opinion, as the Queen Amidala. Just throw in Malgus on this and put this on auto basic when you get to here. You'll be fine, provided you got all those data discs for, like, you know, assists and attacks out of turn and booming voice and all that sort of good business. Groovy, juicy, and delicious, ladies and gentlemen. Cheeses out the wazoo. Let's move on to the next feat. Okay then, let's start by talking about defeating enemies with droids. Now, if you don't have very many great droids, that's absolutely fine. Try and keep an eye out for teams that have got lots of revives. Things like Imperial Troopers. I think I had one over here. Like this Nute Gunray. Nute has got a revive. GBA can summon a unit. That's an extra minimum 2 kills that you can get. Imperial Troopers are really good for this sort of thing. They've got like 5 revives or something like that. Maybe 5 revives, 3 revives. So you can get like 8 kills from Imperial Troopers and that sort of thing. Mon Mothma, you can farm these if they've got Xaereth Rebel Pathfinder, all that sort of good business. However, the team that I found the most fun using in this sort of situation is going to be a Zealous Ambitious setup, okay? So I use Leader's Resolve over here, and we want lots and lots of Zealous Ambition and a weak spot. That, to me, is like the perfect data disk setup, because I find this one to be the most fun to use in this current climate. So going in, Leader's Resolve, Zealous Ambition, Zealous Ambition, Zealous Ambition, and a weak spot. And taking in a sortie team with BB-8 is just the business. It's just the business. I'll show you. Sortie with BB-8. BB-8 passes a bunch of turn meter, and Sortie just yeets everything out turn 1. She is a support type character with a really strong AoE on her first special. So even at R5 with the Zealous Ambition, she is doing real solid work. I think we just go in and delete another team. I think I was just having a look over here saying, do I have a Padme team, for example? I was looking as I was going through the sector, etc., etc. And we find ourselves coming up. Stop looking, scribe. Come on, just do the thing. Oh, because you can see how quick the battle is. We go up against the Tarkin team, and you're just like, yeet, blap. They got a dodge, I think, on thinking about BB-8 is also really strong. So is IG. This whole team, basically, you've got support, and then a tank. So all of them can deal really good damage with this setup, and L3 is there just to taunt very well. So don't worry about L3, she's going to be doing good business. They do get some turns off, but obviously not enough to actually deal enough damage, and the counterattacks just decimate that Tarkin. So, does very well. I like droids. If you don't have salty droids, you can still go in with like a GG team. Throw BB-8 in. Throw BB-8 in that team. Take in some support droids. Have some fun. Chupio is another good use. Otherwise, JML with any sort of droid, call them in to assist and you'll have a good time. Gungans I'm not going to go over because it is literally just using your Gungans to get kills, and if you don't have high-level Gungans, then it's going to be a bit of a sorry tale for you. So let's go ahead. Mid-sector boss, this is our first look at Satele Shan. Really, really easy, I'll be honest. The biggest problem I find with the Satele team is it is slow as molasses, so you can outpace it very, very easily, and if you can lock her down, she doesn't do anything. So we need to win with Zuckuss surviving and win without any using bounty hunters. So you have to double dip to do this feat, but it's not worth a whole lot of key cards, truth be told. So I'll show you the teams I used. So firstly with Zuckuss, I just took in Adrad, threw in Zuckuss, and then Adrad is a support type character, so you just like take a turn and you AoE and everybody dies, apart from Satele for some reason. Don't know why she survived. She was just feeling... She's actually really tanky. I'm just taking a look at the damage output here. She's very tanky, but you could put this on pretty much full auto. I should have just basic there with Adrad and that would have been the end of it, but hey ho, I don't always make wise decisions. And Cassian over there, he's a support type as well, taking a knee and yeeting her out. Failing that, another really, really easy way of getting it done with a very common team. No bounty hunters, you could throw Zuckuss in. EP Mara Jade, they don't get a chance to do anything. Anything at all. You just kind of start, you win. I accidentally attacked the wrong person there, but you can control Satele Shan from the get-go. Palpatine, support type character, basicking for, 200k non-crit. Really, really easy. Really, really easy. So yeah, all you need is to get out the gate, control the team, and have a good time. This is a background from one of the early planets as well, in KOTOR. It's cool to see it again. Bounty hunters, not there. Easy win. And finally, the end sector boss. We need to win without using any support units in your squad, which made me a little bit sad because that means no Zealous Ambition. And then the legend lives on. Win a battle with Pirate King Hondo Onaka surviving. If you've got Pirate King Hondo, you do not need my help to get that feat done. We will go over supports though, or rather the lack thereof. So I decided to change up the data discs here because I've got freedom to change. Having Zealous Ambition isn't going to be very useful for me against a team where I'm not allowed to use supports unless I just went a team full of healers, which I could have done. So I've used Thermal Exhausts over here, Amplify Agony, and I'm using Certain Defeat. When the enemy drops below 50% health, they get locked heal immunity and protection disruption, which is kind of nice. Anyway, I can't remember what team I used, even though it was literally not so long ago. Not sure what it is. What did I use? I think I tried to use a team over here that was relatively accessible. So Jedi Knight Revan, Cal Kestis, Luke, he says, and then just throws in a bunch of legendary units. Ayo! And looks like we've got Mace. And I think I was thinking, I need to make sure I get another unit that's not a support. Is Yoda, a Hermit Yoda, a support or a healer type? Of course, he's a support type. I'm like, Dan nabbit. Took him out. I think I threw in Barriss in the end. Go on, grab Barriss. Grab Barriss, take it. There we go. I'm like, just double check. She is a healer. I've been wrong before. Many, many times. So this team was a little bit harder than the mid-sector boss, but generally speaking, I felt like we cleared through it really, really easily, all the same. They are going to go out ahead of you because Darth Revan, unlike Jedi Knight Revan and unlike Satele Shan, is actually very fast. So just get those heals up. I go for the reduced defense. And then Cal does his thing where he's amazing. So we've got, I don't know, I think we've got weak spot. I hope I had weak spot, maybe I didn't. But Cal just absolutely decimated the board. Relic Delta is not an effect in this version, so the damage that we're doing right now is just pure damage output. We're landing lots of thermal detonators thanks to our thermal exhaust as well. I don't think they even stack, you know. I just threw them on. So yeah, that was super easy. I'll be honest, that was super easy. But hey ho, no supports in that. You could just use like a Ray team if you've got it. Anything with a bunch of attackers will work. Just have fun with it, I guess. That is actually going to wrap up Conquest, guys. We do have global feats. Let me know if you would like me to go over how to get global feats as easy as possible, and I'll try and get it done lickety-split. I'll see you all in the very next video. Just give me a like, subscribe if you haven't, tell me how bald my head is today, and I will tell you how beautiful you are. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.